My name is Greg Drew, and I'm a member of the San Antonio Ninth Ward in San Antonio, Texas. I've been a user of Family Search for several years now. I use it primarily to uh, get names to take to the temple. I do a lot of family names. I got started in this several years ago, and to give a little bit of background, um, I joined the church in 1975 with my family, and almost from the outset, my dad was really interested in family history work. And in those days, you had to do a lot of traveling to look at records. In addition to going to the Family History Center, the ways of doing genealogy research were very, very different from what they are now. And I remember him taking me to courthouses in rural North Carolina, and I just was bored out of my mind. You know, being a teenager, you weren't interested in those types of things. But over the course of many, many years, my father gathered a lot of family history information. And as a result, when he died, he gave me the several books of family group records that he had that had a lot of detailed information in it. And how I got started was taking that information that was written down on all of these group records and inputting it into personal ancestral file. And then once I was done with that project, which took quite a while, I imported that. I actually created a GEDCOM file and shared with the Family History Center at the time. And it's, of course, we know since grown into Family Search. So over the course of many years, I have been able to do temple work for deceased family members. And that is such a blessing. And I still have a lot of family names to do. And I'm fortunate to live very close to a temple here in San Antonio where I can take those names and do the work for my kindred dead. I have my mother's side of the family has several generations of Native uh, Canadian Aboriginal ancestry. Okay. And I did not think for many years that I was ever going to be able to find any information about them. And several years ago, I said, you know what, I'm going to try one last time. So I did a Google search on my great grandmother's name. And lo and behold, I got hit, and it was because of the script records of the government of Canada. And what that was about is the government of Canada offered money to the First Nations peoples in exchange for relinquishing any rights to their ancestral lands. They were paid a sum of money. Okay. Um, that I have a lot of feelings about that, but I do see the Lord's hand in that, and I'm very grateful that at least that information was made available so that I've been able to do the family history work for my ancestors on my mother's side of the family, of course, and to continue to do work. And there's a lot of mixture with French and Indian or Native First Nations peoples. As a result of that, gotten a lot of good information that goes back to France and things like that. Now, English is my first language and Spanish is my second language. I do not speak French. However, I have noticed that just a little bit of study that I've done of French, that when I go to the temple and I pronounce those names, I think I'm doing a pretty good job. So I feel the Spirit with me when I do that, and I'm just very grateful to for Family Search and for all of the great strides in technology that have been made to make um, the family history work more accessible. And I definitely see the Lord's hand in that effort.